Okay, there you go.
John, thank you so much for letting me interview you.
My pleasure. It's great to be here in Amsterdam.
Yes. This is John Farrell, and he has written a book on John Nixon, and it has just come
Richard
out.
Nixon.
Sorry, Richard Nixon. And it has just been released now in Amsterdam.
Yep.
And please tell us about it. I was listening to your interview on YouTube for Prose and Politics, and I enjoyed listening to it. You were talking about your writing process.
Yeah. I think that this is something that I came to the book thinking that I was going to be much more critical of Nixon. And I found that for all his flaws and all his sins, that there was a human being there.
Yes.
And as a biographer,
Yes.
that's your job, is to humanize the person, not just present him as a caricature.
Yes.
But
yes.
that was my goal.
Great. And you were aiming to sell your book for the Generation X and Millennials in particular.
Yeah. In part
And
it's-
why did you aim for this market?
In part, it's by necessity because, believe it or not, 2/3 of the American book buying public either came to America or were born since Nixon resigned. So the new generations, the millennials and the Xers, they only know Nixon as a caricature from television, the bad guy president who shows up in the movies. And I thought that they deserved more. I wanted to write a book for my kids and their,
Yes.
and their
And they-
colleagues.
yeah.
And if I had one wish, it's that I would start seeing it in millennial backpacks.
And tell us about your writing, because do you have a particular style? Or
This is my third book.
Yeah.
I have another one that I've just begun working on. I wrote a book about Tip O'Neill, who was a famous House Speaker when Ronald Reagan was president.
Yeah.
He was sort of Reagan's chief opponent.
Yeah.
I wrote a book about a great American defense attorney, Clarence Darrow,
Yes.
and now Richard Nixon. I'm not Hemingway
No.
or Fitzgerald or Faulkner. I tend to be sort of a plodder. I do lots of research, and if the book reads well, and as this one, at least the reviewers have said,
The reviews have been fantastic.
it's because I rewrite and I rewrite and I rewrite, try to get it smooth and better. And I'm proudest of this book. This is the best.
This is the best
Yeah,
one.
definitely.
Yes, because the reviews, as I just said, were absolutely fantastic.
Yeah,
They were raging,
yeah.
a raging
And we even showed up on
success.
the New York Times bestseller list. Which
Wow,
made my publisher
congratulations.
very happy. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
definitely.
And do you have some advice for our readers? Is there anything that you
Readers or writers?
readers and writers?
Writers. For the writers, I would just say follow your dream. Don't think that it's
beyond you.
that it's beyond you. I used to go when I was about 30 years old. I used to go into bookstores, and I used to pick up these magical things that other writers had somehow persevered, gotten the idea and the vision, and seen through, thinking that I would never do it. And now,
here you are.
after I'm midway through my fourth book now, and I can say it's just it's one sentence after another, and you can do it. For readers, I just love readers. They're people who, in a very fast food, Twitter, social media kind of world, still maintain a grip on science and depth and history and truth. And I don't want to sound too corny, but I really think that this is hope for the future, that there will still be human beings who want to see things in depth and with complexity, and not just snark and quick dismissal on Twitter or even a longer Facebook post. But readers of literature have and always will be very important for the human condition.
I think so too.
Yeah,
I agree.
definitely. Yeah, you're doing a great service.
And I have one last question
Sure,
for you.
yeah.
And it's, I know everyone's been talking about this evening about Trump, and
Mm-hmm.
I know that there is a comparison, but it's a mild comparison. But what advice would you give? What advice do you think that Nixon would give to Trump?
Oh, stop the tweeting.
Definitely.
Fire your staff, and listen to what they say. Get better people in.
Around you. That's what you
yeah.
said at the bookshop in
Yeah,
April.
yeah, definitely,
Politics and Prose.
definitely get better people around you, and
stop the tweet.
and listen to what they say. Because I think that he's been a tycoon, a business tycoon. And when
For
you're a
years.
business tycoon, you're at the top. It's your money, mostly, that you're making these decisions with, and everybody else works for you. And he's been something of a tyrannical tycoon. You know, this is the man who on television fires people, and he doesn't understand that staffs that have a history and experience in working with government and politics can present him with bright ideas about how to get his program through, or what kind of things that he needs to do. He tends to be that same impetuous tycoon type. Fortunately for us, fortunately for the world, the place where he does listen to people is his national security advisor. He listens to his defense secretary, listens to his secretary of state, and his national security advisor. But he'd be much better off with some of his domestic. If he had better domestic political advisors and listened to what they told him.
Okay.
Yeah.
And our next book. What is,
I think that's what Nixon would tell him too.
Okay.
Yeah.
And tell us, what is your next book that you
Next
you
book
have
is,
mentioned?
yeah,
it
it's
with
going to be a biography of Senator Ted Kennedy.
Okay.
And so, having done Nixon, now I get to do a Kennedy.
Kennedy. Well, we're looking forward to seeing that.
Thanks very much.
Thanks very much, Literary Globe members. And my next blog will be with Nicole Cross, and that's coming up in 2 months' time, I believe. All right. Bye.